Hi everyone, Janie here.
And Jason, hi.
Welcome back to our garden. It is that time again. It's time for a question and answer time. We have been going back and forth on how often to do these question and answer videos. You all leave a lot of really great questions and comments in the comment section of each of our videos, and we, of course, read all of them. I try and respond to some of them, but not always, and sometimes they're just questions that would be easier just to say on video like this, right?
Yep.
So I think that we're settling on once a month.
I think once a month is good.
I think that's good too.
Yeah.
Maybe during the spring when there's like a lot of questions, maybe we'll do it a little bit more often, but
once a month feels right, at least.
Now. Yeah. So we are in the greenhouse today. It is so cold today.
It's very cold today.
We got down to 30 degrees last night, and for us Californians,
I was just thinking that.
We're like, ah!
People in the comments are like, it's -8 wind chill or something.
We have 8 inches of snow on the ground, and we're like, it's 30 degrees. I mean, the one good thing is we didn't have frost last night, and
which is weird.
It always confuses me, you know, because I always think, okay, under 32 degrees is frost, but it's not.
Yeah.
It depends on the
humidity,
water in the air,
dew point or something.
Yeah. So it was
I don't know.
30 degrees last night. We did not have frost. It was still freezing, like literally freezing, and we're suffering today because of it.
Except the greenhouse is warm.
I know. Isn't it nice?
It's nice in here.
So I do have this greenhouse heater. I don't think you can see it on camera right now, but I do have a greenhouse heater. That's one of the questions we get asked all the time is where's our greenhouse heater from? And it's from Canopia, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So this greenhouse is a Canopia greenhouse. It's the Triumph. I love it. It's an orangery. I actually went through. Can you tell that I cleaned it?
Yeah, it looks better.
Can you tell? I went through and I used a mop with some soap and warm water, and I cleaned the inside and the outsides, and it looks sparkling clean right now. I didn't do the roof though because I didn't want to pull out a ladder and do the roof, but that's probably something that we should do. Anyway, so my point is it's a Canopia greenhouse, and our heater is from the Canopia brand. You can get it off the Canopia website. I'll try and remember to link it in the description down below. Okay, so let's get started. I pulled some questions from videos from the last month since our last question and answer session. So Miguel asks, hey, question. Did you manage to get rid of the bunnies that come in your yard and eat all your plants? If so, what worked for you? Bunnies keep eating all my plants, and I've tried a lot or thinking, but I can't seem to get them to stay away.
Easy solution.
Easy solution.
Get a dog.
Get a golden retriever. As soon as we got our dog, Monty, I haven't seen bunny.
Not even a hint of a bunny in this.
Like not one. Yeah. And we still have squirrels.
Even the squirrels, they used to be all around our beds.
Yeah. They used to mess with stuff all the time. Yeah. And now that Monty's here.
The only time I see squirrels now is the other end of the yard, way far from the house, by the raised beds over there. And like running along the fence. But
even Monty's running out.
Oh, but he'll run and chase him and bark at him along the fence. And then they sit up there and chirp at him and tease him.
Yeah. It's really sad.
and on the power lines, they'll like chirp at him and But
so we tried, Miguel. We tried using the repels, the bunny repellent and all that kind of stuff. You can get coyote urine, which I now know sounds gross, but that's something that you can do for the bunnies. But the dog, I know.
Yeah, I know.
That's not the question. That's not the answer you want, right?
It's a cheater answer, but that's what worked for us.
It was a huge benefit. So good job, Monty. So next question. This was actually before Christmas. We installed a whole bunch of evergreens, living Christmas trees is what they were called. We got them from a big box store on a good discount, which as a huge tip, go to your local Home Depot or Lowe's and look for living Christmas trees. And really, they're just evergreens, right? Cone-shaped evergreens.
Kind of funny branding.
It is.
Yeah.
And so I got mine 25% off, and that was a couple days before Christmas. But had you waited till Christmas Eve or even the day after Christmas, like my mom texted me and said, they're 50% off now. Yeah. So that's a really, really good tip to find evergreens for a good price. Maybe not the best quality evergreens, but
I know, but won't they, like, can't you
They should bounce.
Rehab them and make them look good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
They should bounce back. So Jason and I decorated around our wood-burning hot tub from Goodland with evergreens, and I got a lot of responses to that video. Strike to Chill says, have you thought about flip-flopping the tall arborvitae with the trio on the other side? That way it doesn't touch the pergola and also adds some height to the other side. Just an idea. Great idea. That's actually my original idea.
I moved that pot over there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
we actually had it filmed where I said, Jason, move this pot over here to this other side. And then we realized what's on the other side.
Yeah, the chimney, basically, the smokestack.
The smokestack. Yeah.
And it's
It probably would have been fine.
It probably would be fine. It's just like...
We were worried about it scorching the arborvitae, which is why we didn't put the arborvitae over on the left side. So part of the problems we were having is that the arborvitae was so tall it was running into our pergola, but we didn't want to put it on the other side because the smokestack, the chimney was right there. We do have a hold on, I have to cough. I've been sick, so I have a lingering cough. We do have a what do you call it?
The spark thing. There's
spark guard.
A spark arrestor, I think they call it, that sits on the top of it so that no big embers can fly out. So that's a good safety thing just in case. So it wasn't so much of a fire issue. It's just that there's a decent amount of heat that radiates off of that.
And we were afraid, we were afraid it was going to scorch the arborvitae. So that's why we put it in the arrangement that we did. But you're not the only one who had that idea. That was a good idea. I had that idea too, but then realized it wasn't going to work. Okay, the next couple questions are about seed starting. I've done a couple videos on seed starting. And I feel like this time of year, people start asking questions about seed starting. I think I'm going to do a video, just a simple seed starting video. Sonia asks, how do you water the seedlings? A spray bottle? Do you use seed germinating tray, then move to a seedling tray, still under the lights with the germinated seedlings, then move them outside? So basically, Sonia, just a lot of questions on how I do seed starting. So like if you watch Gardener's World with Monty Don, a lot of seeds, I think, I don't know, but I think a lot of people in England start their seeds in a germination tray and then prick them out and move them into individual cell trays. I don't do that. I just go ahead and start mine in individual cell trays. I feel like that's more of an American thing to do.
Is that right?
Yeah. I almost never... I've done it maybe once or twice where I started seeds in a germination tray and then pricked them out and transferred them.
What would be the benefit of that?
If they don't germinate, you can only pick out the best ones and then transfer them. So it basically saves space so that you don't have like a whole 72 count cell tray and like half of it is germinated. Yeah. So, I mean, it makes sense.
But then you still need space for the germinating tray to begin with.
That's true.
But I guess you're just replacing it versus having...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just different,
all right.
it's just different methods to do it. I don't think there's one right method. It's just kind of how you want to do it. And I've always done it where I direct sow into the cell starting tray.
Yeah, you've always done that.
Yeah, so let that do that. So when I first, Sonia, to answer your question about watering, when I first sow them before they've germinated, I'll use a spray bottle to mist the top just to make sure that the seed stays wet because you want to make sure that that doesn't dry out or it won't germinate. So I use a spray bottle at first. Well, first I pre-moisten the soil. That's key. You have to make sure that your soil's moist. And so then that way the soil will most likely stay moist, especially if you have a humidity dome over your seeds. And then I just spray it until I see it start germinating. Then once it germinates, I always bottom water. I love bottom watering my seeds. I feel like that pulls the roots down and helps them develop a little bit better. But to do that, you have to have the right supplies, which is plastic seed starting trays and then a bottom tray that you can bottom water in. So that's how I do it. And then I move them outside only at like a week before it's time to put them out and I'll start hardening them off. So hopefully that answers your question and hopefully I'll have a video coming out soon with more information. She Loves Flora says, I haven't seen you soil blocking lately. Have you returned to using plastic pots or did I miss something? No, you didn't miss anything. I have not been soil blocking lately. I like soil blocking. Soil blocking is, you basically have a soil blocker and you fill it with soil and it makes these little blocks where you don't have to use a tray. The cool thing about soil blocking is that you can start an insane amount of seeds in a very small area. So when Jason and I lived in our old house, I didn't have any, I mean, my office was in my master closet. I mean, literally. Yeah, it was really, remember that? Gosh, times have changed.
That's pretty funny to think about now that you have so much space to do this stuff.
I know. I mean, I have a whole dedicated office out here. Man, times have changed. So yeah, at our old house, like my computer was in my master closet and my seed starting shelf with my lights on it was in our kitchen. So space was a big issue for me. And so I liked using soil blocking then because I could start all my seeds in like 1 or 2 trays, basically. The problem with soil blocking is that it dries out so fast. Like you almost have to water twice a day. And to water soil blocks, you start soil blocks in a tray and then you bottom water basically, and then you have to pour it out. And it's kind of a big process. Huh. And if you miss it, you're done. Like you're absolutely done. You have to pay such.
So it's more finicky, kind of.
It's way more finicky. Yeah. So
that makes sense because each little seedling or seed is like a really small amount of dirt around it, right? So like
and lots of air surface area
around it. Yeah.
So I've kind of, I mean, like I would still soil block. I actually just lent my soil blocker to Olivia, my friend. Oh. She's going to try it this year, and she lives in a small house and doesn't have a lot of space. So I think soil blocking is great because of the space aspect and not using plastic. But I already have all these plastic trays from Bootstrap. And so I tend to find it's easier to do that, especially if I forget to water, which I've definitely done.
Yeah. And so it sounds like if space is at a premium, then soil blocking makes a lot of sense. If you've got some space that you can dedicate to it, it's a little bit bigger, then not so important and easier process to not do it.
Totally.
Is that right?
Yeah. Like I have double the amount of seed starting space, and I have my whole greenhouse. If I do want to move something out, I can move it out into my greenhouse. So space is not really an issue for the amount of seeds that I start. Now, if you're a flower farmer, all bets are off.
Yeah, like, if you're starting thousands of...
Yeah, that's a whole different... But I'm just a hobby flower gardener, so not the same. No. So next video this question was from was when, actually it was in the greenhouse, and it was when I planted out my tomato plants that are doing so beautifully right now. And I'm trying a new method of watering called Oyas. And Oyas is a porous clay pot that you bury in the soil next to the plant, and you fill the pot with water, and it just slowly seeps out and waters the plant. And I have to say, I love it.
You're happy.
I'm so happy with it. I'm so happy with it. I can't believe how well it's working. So Peggy says, that's so interesting, Janey. I've never heard of this watering method. Question, would you consider a water retention system like you had in your last property, Zone 3, Manitoba? I bet you're very cool, Peggy. So what Peggy's talking about, I had a rain harvesting system in my last property. And so basically it connected to our gutter system, and every time it rained, I had these blue barrels. Yeah, barrels that would fill with water, and it was such a great system. And I would love to have that on this property, especially because we have more roof area with the metal workshop and my office and our house. I feel like it would be really great. It's just a matter of we haven't gotten to that point yet. Yeah. We have so many other things to do. We haven't gotten to a rain harvesting system yet, but I would definitely recommend it. I think it's great, especially for, people who live in areas of water restriction. You have to have a lot of barrels to make it worth it. Do you know what I mean?
But those things fill up pretty quickly.
I know.
I was surprised.
Me too.
How well and how quickly they filled up.
Yeah. And if you were using a system like the Oyas, where you only had to fill them up once a week, wouldn't that be great?
I would.
Yeah, we should get barrels.
Yeah.
Put it on the list.
On the list.
Okay, so next question's from Connie. Connie says, I'm thinking about going to the Northwest Flower and Garden Show this year in Seattle. Will you be there? And if so, which days? So, Connie, I am actually not going to go this year. We've decided.
Yeah.
I have so much FOMO about it. So you should definitely go. It's super fun. It is such a great show that has really good landscape displays and garden booths, and you can spend a whole bunch of money there, and a whole bunch of classes. It's such a fun show to go to. So if you're near Seattle, you should definitely go. I decided not to go just because
we have a lot of things happening.
We have a lot of things happening.
A lot of trips.
And I want to make sure that I'm not away from home more than I'm at home. So, so I'm just trying to limit, just so that I can have family time and all that kind of stuff. So I have so much, I really want to.
I know you really enjoyed it last year.
I really had so much fun last year. But no, I'm not going. What I am going to do, though, is there is a show called NorCal Landscape and Garden Expo. I always say it wrong.
I think that's right.
I always say it wrong. Michael Glassman and I are going, well, he has a booth and he's letting us go set up at his booth. And we're going to do a workshop on Saturday. And actually, I don't think you know this. I actually have free tickets to give away.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about going, leave a comment in the comment section down below and I'll respond to your comment and then send you an email to let you know that you won the tickets. Is that?
I think so. How do we prevent spam? Or
don't click on spam.
Don't
click on spam. Well, the secret is not to write giveaway in the title or the description.
Oh.
Yeah, because the spammers look for
that makes sense.
If you write giveaway and then they start spamming. If anybody ever asks you guys to call somebody on Telegram, that's spam. Don't respond to that.
Don't do that.
Right?
Yep.
And then just make sure that it's my account that's responding, and not a dummy account.
I guess the easy way is if it ends in digplantwaterrepeat.com.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I guess somebody could, I don't know.
Just watch out for it. They're trying to get us. It's very, very annoying. It's so annoying. So unfortunately I'm not going to the Northwest Flower and Garden Show, but you should definitely go, Connie. And for those of you who want to go to the NorCal Landscape and Garden Show, Michael and I will be presenting at noon on Saturday, and then we'll be there the rest of the weekend as well. And let me know if you want free tickets. Okay, I only have 2 to give away. Okay, so from Tanya, she was, this comment was based off of the Make a Bouquet Monday video I did. I'm really excited for Make a Bouquet Monday. Although the second week I got sick.
I know that's not fair.
It's not fair.
There is no possible way you're making a bouquet on Sunday or Monday. There's just no way.
So sick, you guys.
Done.
Oh my gosh, I was so sick. Ugh. So anyway, that's my goal for this year is every Monday to create a bouquet out of my garden. I'm really excited about it. Tanya says, love the bouquet. About the mulch on your driveway. Why don't you guys keep it somewhere more discreet, like behind the shed? That's a great idea, but we can't get it behind the shed.
Yeah, right.
So the mulch is actually from something called chipdrop.com, which is free. It's free arborist wood chips, and you sign up for it, and then they'll just show up whenever, and then they'll drop off a load of wood chips. And so, we can't fit it behind the shed or anything like that.
It comes in a big old truck, and so it's got they have to be able to back up to wherever the spot is to dump it, and so we basically have 2 choices. It can go back by the workshop, where at that point that it was delivered, we already had a pile of compost back there. So we had no choice but to put it out there. And it annoys me too. I wish it was not there.
You were just talking about it
I just mentioned it today. Like, should we work on that? And it's like, no, we got to wait because we want to finish this part and then we can, anyways.
It's just that time of year when projects are.
And I was just thinking that, like, I'm looking at, it's like I'm trying to make it pretty, but like the center island is still all torn up.
Yeah.
And so
it's just that time of year.
It's like construction project time. And so like things aren't going to look pretty until those projects are done. And then we can cover it with the mulch and it'll look nice.
Yeah.
We used some of that pile when it got delivered, but we just had no need to use all of it.
Well, we have a need now. We just need manpower. We need some help to spread it all.
Yeah. Right? That and to finish the projects in the island before we spread it there too. So we can spread it back here too. I guess that's true.
So it's a really good idea, except for like the logistics of it. Tanya is it's just
there's no way to get a truck back behind there, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I think that where we're at in the season of this property, we're so early. We're still in the midst of projects all the time. Yeah. That we just have to accept that we're going to have piles of like
the aesthetics it's just not always going to be pretty.
It's just not there.
There's just no way to do it.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Like I kind of see a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just
me too.
Not quite there yet. I mean, I just called to have the AB delivered.
Yeah, no, right, which is
and
great.
the decomposed granite, like we're getting 2 more piles. So,
that's the thing too. We get rid of that pile,
1
replace
pile or
it
3 piles. Who cares? So, but yeah, I completely get what you're saying, Tanya. But it just logistically, it just doesn't work out. Just not quite yet, but soon. Okay, so gardening at 701 says, I'm curious why banana trees are okay, but palm trees were not. I understand your reasoning for removing the palms, but now I'm confused. So what here she is talking about, I went to the garden center and I saw some banana trees and I said, I'm going to put that in my garden this year, which is I completely get why you asked this question, because when we moved into this house, almost the first thing I did was take out the palm trees that were here.
Yep.
Right? And so it's like, why would I plant a banana tree? That doesn't make any sense. You're right. It doesn't make any sense.
This is what you do, though. You walk into the garden center like, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, like I read this and I was like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense, does it? They're both very tropical. They both don't match with my garden. I think I've seen Erin from Impatient Gardener plant a banana tree in her very cottagey, Wisconsin-y looking garden. And then I saw Monty Don plant one in his beautiful English countryside garden. And I just thought, oh, that's the most beautiful plant ever. I want a banana tree now. You know, I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just a taste thing, right? But it was a good question. I'll give you that. You have every right to be confused. Okay, so Karen says, "Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Have you ever had any regrets moving? I know you have had a lot of struggles in areas. I'm so happy that you and Jason have a vision. I love the transformation." Thank you, Karen. That's very sweet. Have you ever had any regrets moving? I'll ask you.
Sometimes. Sometimes when we're trying to do something, it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to take 3 times longer than we thought because this system doesn't,
3 times
and
more.
Cost you that, right? Because this system doesn't work, or this pavers are buried here that I didn't expect, or whatever the case might be. There are definitely frustrations with it, and just with living in the country that are just different, that we just never had to think about or deal with. And so there are little frustrations and learning curves that make me annoyed sometimes, right?
Yeah,
is that
I'll
fair?
second that.
Yeah.
I think it's not fair because our last home was just a very well taken care of home, right? Yeah. Like it wasn't exactly new, but
it wasn't new. But when we moved in, like she had the previous owner had like a binder of information about everything that, like all the upgrades that she had done, and all of the name of the landscaper and the pool guy, and everything was just like in a binder ready for us. It was crazy. It was so nice. Care of. Everything was well maintained. The yard was fairly newly landscaped within the last year or two before that, and it was just like
it wasn't fair. And then the house before that was a new construction home,
right?
And I don't know, like if you've ever lived in a new construction home. Oh my gosh. Everything is perfect. And
everything works great.
And if it's not, you call somebody and you say, you messed up, come fix this. And they come. And they come and fix it. And there was just nothing to do and nothing to take care of, which I was bored out of my mind at that house. I even got bored at our last house because I just didn't have the things to do. But now that we live in this house, it is the exact opposite of those last 2 houses. And it's an old house that hasn't been taken care of very well.
And a lot of the stuff, even when it was original, it was DIY'd. Like a lot of the stuff here was DIY. Yeah. Like most of the stuff here was DIY'd. So like...
including like electrical. And
so like it may have worked well, but maybe didn't last or didn't hold up as long as it could have if it was done more professionally, I guess.
Then when we call electricians in, it's like this huge deal because we have to fix what was DIY'd before. So to answer your question, sometimes I think on bad days when we're both very tired and our bank account has been drained and like you just want to relax and you can't because the heater won't turn on or, something like that. Those are the days.
That's a good example. Like the heating, the HVAC system was, even the guy we called the heating and air person to come and check it out because it wasn't working right. Mm-hmm. And they kind of did the, that's interesting. You know,
we hear that a lot.
We do. We hear that's like from when we have like professional people come out to look at stuff. That's interesting. It's
always
like
confusion.
Always like, what is this? And
yeah.
And it always like works, but then like the heating system was like not working quite right. And so we ended up having to modify it a little bit. And now it works well, but
and pay extra money.
Right.
Take more time. You know, like we had a plumber. I had to come out 3 times for the dishwasher. Like stuff like that, which a couple of you have been asking about the kitchen renovation, which was just a very light, simple renovation. But even that is taking longer.
Yeah.
Because like someone to come out for the dishwasher has to come out 3 times, 3 weeks in a row, you know, for something little as that. So. Yep. I feel like we're going on and on about our complaints for this house.
I know.
But we love this house.
Really, we do.
We love it. It's so much fun. I mean, we're in the early stages of it. And so just give us like 2-3 years. And this whole property is going to be a brand new place. And it's going to be beautiful. And like, this is what we do. You know what I mean? We're just in the early stages of it. So like to answer your question, yeah, sometimes there's some regrets, but more often than not, it's the anticipation of what it can be.
But that goes into, too, like we were talking about the yard not looking pretty right now because of the piles of stuff. Like, once we get past this point of, like, figuring out all the stuff and then doing all these major sort of foundational projects, then you could do what you love to do the best and just make everything really pretty.
I know, I'm so excited.
I mean, it still looks pretty, but it's just like there's so much more that can be done to make it look really nice and get it to the point where it's all, like, really kind of filled in and looks... I don't want to say done, but, you know, it looks nice like the last house did.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think that's what makes it fun. It's the transformation aspect of it. So anyway, that was a great question, and I appreciate that question. It made me think, which is really, really nice. So anyway, that is going to be it for January's question and answer session. Leave your questions in the comments section down below. If you write question, you know, colon, it makes it really easy for us to find it. So think about that. And we're going to be trying to do these question and answer sessions together every month from now on. So anyway, we appreciate you guys listening to us ramble about our house problems. They're not that bad. We're just in the midst of it right now and watching the bank account. Like setting a budget for all these projects is really hard.
Yeah.
Because
you have to pick and choose. You can't do it all.
And you have to prepare for it to cost more money than you think it should. Right.
Yep.
And that was a hard pill to swallow for me because you would think that that should cost this much or that should cost this much. Well, no, when you have to go back and you have to correct 10 things to even get to the first point, all of a sudden the budget's doubled. And you know what I mean? And it just, it is what it is. So anyway, we appreciate you guys coming along with us. We hope you enjoyed this and we hope you have a chance to get in your garden today.